What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Dragon Age 2. So last episode we took care of Meryl's personal quest, which gets us all squared away on the companion quest for Dragon Age 2. Now we are here in the Templar Hall. We did get a little notice from Meredith saying she wanted to talk to us. So this is a quest called Best Served Cold, and if anybody knows that parable, it would be revenge is a dish best served cold. So something about vengeance here for sure. Is Orsino brooding in his office with his door wide open, no doubt trying to smuggle some bucks out to some serial killer that walks on by. What can we do for you, Meredith?
Champion, it seems you are the only one who still responds to my summons. Let me get directly to the point. There is a conspiracy afoot within the Gallows. The Mages are responsible, but they have blinded the Grand Cleric, and even those who wear the Sun Shield to the truth. You would think Orsino preaching treason in the market evidence enough. But it seems only you have the sense to see it.
What exactly is it that you think is happening?
You mentioned a conspiracy afoot.
The Mages are bolder since Orsino spoke out. They are sneaking out of the tower and deceiving my men. I know how it sounds. Claiming I'm irrational has become the latest sport, it seems. But this is no fantasy. I am not imagining these events, and I will not pretend they don't exist.
Well, we can certainly just check, and then we'll get to the bottom of things, right? If she's wrong and we agree to look into this, we won't find anything, and then we can decide what to do from there.
This grudge you have against mages seems very personal.
It is personal. My sister was a mage. She was a kind, gentle soul, and completely unprepared for such a burden. My family hid her. We knew she could never last in the Circle, or pass their rigorous tests.
Pretty sure I know what happened.
She was your family. What else could you do?
Amelia was terrified, and utterly grateful for our efforts. We thought we were doing the right thing. And then she was possessed by a demon. My sister killed our family, and I only barely escaped. Before the Templars brought her down, she had slain 70 innocents. So I understand perfectly well why the Mages struggle, as well as why the laws we uphold are so vital.
And there you go. One mage, not even a good mage, a mage that hadn't learned anything, a weak, kind, gentle girl, killed 70 innocents, plus Meredith's whole family, excluding her, and probably a couple Templars too. And that's just one. One mage with not much power, just a young girl, kills 70 innocents. That's the kind of stakes you have with mages. So when people tell me the Circle doesn't need to exist, I would tell you to ask those 70 people what their opinion on that is, and then you'll have your answer.
That must have been horrible.
It gave me a reason to join the Templars, and a worthy cause. I will not allow my sister's death to be without purpose. It will serve as a reminder of where good intentions can lead. I have sympathy for mages. They suffer a terrible curse. But it is one that carries a price they must not deny.
I actually quite like Meredith in general, and I think somewhere in there her heart is in the right place. There's some misguided message in there, like how she said that the purpose of her sister was to show that good intentions can lead to bad places. I think it would be better to take that message as why the Circle and the Chantry needs to exist and why it needs to have a hand in all this stuff, rather than why it's a bad idea to be well-intentioned, but...
That doesn't sound like very compelling evidence.
Yet mages have indeed gone missing, only to reappear later. Their absence is unreported. And how, but with blood magic, could they convince my oath-sworn men to lie to my face? I have demanded Orsino provide more detailed accounts, but he refuses. Either he is incompetent or involved. Neither is acceptable.
Isn't it the First Enchanter's job to work with you?
It is Orsino's job to advocate for his mages as well. He claims I am being unreasonable, And so far, he has persuaded the Grand Cleric to agree.
Well, let's get to the bottom of this.
Maybe I can shed some light on this for you.
You're not going to help her, are you?
What do you think the better alternative is, Anders? Do you think it's better to let her keep going down this road alone? To have everyone potentially gaslighting her to the point where she just has to execute them all?
Champion. A neutral party, whose word even Orsino cannot question. You can convince her, Grace, whereas I cannot.
And if you're wrong?
What if the evidence I find doesn't prove what you want it to?
Then I'm wrong. I would never ask you to lie, Champion. One of my loyal men has brought me word of a meeting place the mages travel to.
That's good enough for me.
A small square in Hightown. You can go there without arousing suspicion, whereas I cannot. Do that, and we can all finally see what this conspiracy consists of.
She said it outright. She said, well, if you don't find what I think you'll find, and I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me that I'm wrong. I would never ask you to lie, and that sells me enough on helping Meredith here.
Meredith has no need of your services here, Champion.
Apparently she does, Buttercup. So I have no problem investigating this. Anders can be, like, clutching his pearls, like, you're not going to help her, are you? But of course we are. What is the alternative here? My sister is in this circle. If Meredith is wrong or right, I don't want her just getting gaslit and wound up by everybody in the circle until she does something drastic and dramatic. I want to nip this in the bud and solve it. For everybody's sake, Templars and Mages. But of course he doesn't see it like that. He'd just have it all burned down around, because then at least he gets to fight. He wants everything to pop off. He's like Sister Petrine, except instead of being for the Chantry, he's for the Circle. He's not different to her. He wants to pop off the tensions and have everything blow up into a big ordeal so that they can have their big fight for freedom, even if it gets them all killed, right? Free in the afterlife is a better alternative to life in the Circle for Anders, which is ridiculous considering he's never been in the Circle for any extended amounts of time since he always runs, but why let that get in the way, right? He knows how it is in the Circle by never being in the Circle, so he can demand it all he wants. And everybody around him is, of course, too stupid to call him out on any of that. Looks like a Templar meeting a Blood Mage to me.
Someone's coming! The Champion!
We know you're working for Meredith.
Run! We'll handle this!
Circle. Templar. Circle. Circle. Okay. I was wrong to call that Blood Mage. I saw this and assumed Blood Mage, but it actually doesn't look like it is. Let's find out. I want the mages first. I'm not seeing blood magic. I'm seeing a whole lot of Templars trying to protect the mage charges though. It's like Meredith might have a mutiny on her hands.
See if there's any further evidence of their plans.
I don't think you'll like what you find, Anders, because you would love these Templars too. And also, can we just... I'm sorry, my thoughts on the fly about all this, but Anders has no commentary about how those Templars just laid down their lives for those mages. A whole gang of them. He has no comment on that, but he'll, like the next cutscene on when we talk to Meredith, he'll talk about how all Templars are trash and they all deserve to die. Protection of the Faith, that's for Sebastian. I don't know. Will not tell you again. It's not safe to bring new recruits to our meetings. Meredith has eyes everywhere. Bring anyone who claims to be against her to Gardibali's warehouse at night. We must ensure their loyalty, lest Meredith discover us before we are ready to confront her.
Shall we go to the warehouse? Try to find their leadership?
I think that'd probably be a good bet. And it does certainly... doesn't seem like Blood Mages. It seems like she is just experiencing a mutiny because she's squeezing a little too hard. That's what it seems like to me, and of course Anders just sitting back there nice and silent, nothing to say about all these Templars standing against their Knight Commander to protect the rights of mages. He just wants them all to burn. The Chantry, the Templars, the whole system. He has zero reflection on any of that. He really should take some time to self-reflect about all this before it's too late. I mean, it was too late for Meryl, and look what happened to her. Hopefully I don't literally have to work my way through this whole warehouse, slaughtering everybody involved. If everybody would just relax and
Happy now?
go back to their place here, then I would totally not chop everybody to bits. But I don't think there'll be anybody willing to take that deal. Is that Karen?
I told you he was after us.
No, not him. I can't do this.
That was Karen.
To arms!
Oh, my buff's up. What are you doing, game? Why can't I attack anybody here? Yeah, there's no blood mages here at all. None of this is blood magic. That's why I buffed the hell out of Firestorm.
Oh, this will be fun!
I think they should be able to handle that Templar Hunter. Meryl is getting kind of juiced, actually.
I told them not to do it, I swear. If I knew you were the one they were talking about, I'd have warned you. I don't hold with kidnapping. Not after what I went through.
Didn't I save your life?
You did. Believe me. I still dream about those blood mages. I don't know where I'd be without you. I'd never have let them kidnap anyone I knew was one of yours.
Excuse me?
What are you talking about?
They said someone was spying. We needed leverage. Someone they cared about. As a hostage. We just got word they pulled some girl from the circle. Sister, I think.
Yeah, the innocent mages. Nice. One of their own too, huh?
Just tell me where they went. I can't waste any time.
They left for the ruins on the Wounded Coast. We have a kind of base there. They should have just talked to you. I know you're a reasonable person. You have to see how dangerous Meredith is.
Do you see the situation around you?
Trust says Meredith will cause open war with the mages if she stays in charge. We have to take her down.
Do you see the fucking situation? Your mage friends and Templar friends just kidnapped my fucking sister, who is also a mage in the circle, to threaten to kill her to make me stand down or help you overthrow your commander.
Is this whole thing to oust the Knight Commander?
She needs to go, don't you see? We need a real Viscount and Templars who protect mages, not massacre them. Just look what Thrask accomplished. Mages and Templars working together. Isn't that what we all...
Mages and Templars working together to what? Kidnap people and... Look around. Look at Kirkwall, my guy. You see all the blood mages on the streets, the serial killers, the fucking rituals happening in Darktown. Look around. Open your fucking eyes. You think this is like a Haven... like Marvel team-up between Mages and Templars?
Is Thrask the one running this conspiracy?
He's the one who brought us together. For 6 years, he's been working, one mage, one Templar at a time, teaching us we don't have to hate each other. He showed us Meredith isn't the only way.
I mean, Meredith isn't the only way. And maybe she does need to step down. But not like this.
Do you mean the Templar, Thrask?
You've worked with him. He's a good man.
He seemed to be.
You should help us, not fight us. All we want is someone sane in Meredith's place. What are you going to do to Thrask? To me?
Why do you think... Why does he think Meredith is insane? A little tight-fisted, surely. But she was right about this, wasn't she? Everybody's calling her crazy about this, but she was dead on for this. She knew her Templars were lying to her. She knew that they were meeting mages. The only part she had wrong about any of this was blood magic. So where's the insanity here? I'm not seeing where she's insane. I'm seeing where she's maybe gripping too tightly and going too far with her mission because of what happened with her sister in the state of Kirkwall. Which is something else you've got to understand too. Kirkwall isn't Ferelden, where there's a status quo and everything is happy-go-lucky. Look at everything. Darktown, the blood mages on the loose in the streets at night. There was the blood mage serial killer. Like, look at all the stuff happening in this world. It's not just as simple as, oh, well, I guess we'll just pack it up and just ease the grip and then everything will be hunky-dory like it is in Ferelden. This is not Ferelden. We're not gonna turn this guy in. He did us a solid by standing down right there, and I'm gonna return the favor.
This isn't going to end well. If I were you, I'd stay out of range.
Thank you. I'm really sorry you were the one. I'll go to Marsha, try to wait this out. I don't think I can serve the Templars while Meredith is still in charge.
Well, if you want to break your oath, that's on you. All I know is you helped me, so I'm helping you. Didn't save you from blood mages back in the day, just so that you can get clapped now. And also, isn't that just another... It's not just another good example of what I'm talking about. Look at his origin story. The last time we saw him, he'd been kidnapped by an underground gang of blood mages that were actively putting demons inside recruits. And that was before the Viscount, before Meredith had consolidated power. That was before all that, and the blood mages were acting like that. So what the fuck does he mean she needs to step down and she's caused all this? They were all doing this before she even did what she did. When we first rolled up, obviously Knight Commander Meredith had a pretty iron grip on the city, right? And the city guard almost exclusively said that they the guy at the docks, if you remember, he straight up said basically that he doesn't answer to the Viscount, he answers to Knight Commander Meredith. Unofficially. Like, officially he answers to the Viscount, but nobody's gonna go against what Meredith wants. He said that pretty much outright when we first arrived in the city. And so, she's had power the whole time, but she hasn't had consolidated power the whole time, and she hasn't been doing things as extreme as she's doing right now the whole time. And the mages were still all doing what they were doing. So to just sit here and say it's all Meredith's fault for her going too far and yada 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 is nonsense. It's not true. It's not what's happening. And so much for, you know, trying to get allies, right? What do they do when they get a chance to hurt somebody else? They kidnap Bethany. Now, I wonder what they're doing with Bethany, huh? I'm sure that's all a noble goal, right? I'm sure Bethany is just sitting relaxed, just chilling somewhere right now, right? Completely fine, not a hair on her head harmed. I'm sure they have zero intention of doing anything blood mage or possession-wise with our sister, and I'm sure they definitely won't have a knife to her throat when I get there, right? And I'm supposed to be on team with that. I'm supposed to take that as like a same side. Nah. Everyone involved in kidnapping my sister here is dead. Even Thrask. Because Thrask is on board with this shit too. And Thrask can talk about war all he wants. But what he's doing right now is literally starting the war that he's saying he's trying to avoid. Like, he doesn't want open war between Templars and Mages in Kirkwall. And so to avoid that, he starts one. That doesn't really make sense. Everything right now is isolated. it's not going to spill out into the rest of Thedas. It would just be Kirkwall's Chantry versus Kirkwall's Templars. Oh look, a welcome basket. Well, somebody's casting blood magic out here, because the only way you can make walking corpses is by putting demons in them, so...
Well, here you are. You've been sticking your nose in every problem in Kirkwall since you stumbled off the boat.
And you are Samson, I also remember you.
Who are you again?
Samson. I'm the one who fouled up your lad Fenris's escape some years ago. Further back, I was a Templar, but that was before your time.
Are the mages here using blood magic?
It always comes down to that, don't it? They claim innocence, demand equality, but back them into a corner, and they got options we don't.
They're not even backed into a corner.
Mage yet who won't take it.
I have. I found multiple mages that won't take it, and they're not backed into a corner. They're in a hideout here with Templar assistants. They're not backed into a corner. They have like a small militia army in here, and they, as Karen so eloquently pointed out, they have leverage. But they're still blood magic and raising corpses.
Are you part of this plot against Meredith?
You could say so. That bitch threw me out of the Templars for carrying letters from a mageling to his sweetheart. She's got her sword so far up her arse, she can cut you with her tongue.
That's a very funny saying, actually. So, that's a good example of Meredith being a little too tight-fisted, right? One of the mages was sending letters to his sweetheart. And instead of sending it through official channels, he had this Templar posting it. And then the Templar got in trouble and reprimanded for doing it illegally, essentially. But you know that they can send letters to and from the Circle, because Bethany has done it for us. And a couple of the other mages have sent us letters too when we've helped them and got them back to the Circle okay. So, we know that that's possible. What this guy got in trouble for was doing it on the side hustle on the low. Because maybe the Circle reads the mail when they send it. Which is a big violation of privacy, but maybe that's what happens, right? Maybe they read the letters to make sure there's nothing wonky going on there, and then they send it on down. Either way, whatever they do, they are allowed. So anyways, if you got kicked out, what are you doing here now?
Shouldn't you be in with the rest of them?
I'd hoped with Meredith gone I could take up the shield again. But maybe she was right. Give them a hint of freedom, mages go bad.
Well, this makes you quite clearly define yourself on a side here. And what are my options here? We have Knight Commander Meredith, who's turned out to be right almost every single time that she's been in question, at least to our character's knowledge. And the Templar Order and the Chantry Order itself, which is a symbol in all of Thedas. Or we pick the side of the Blood Mages who kidnapped our sister and are currently raising demons and corpses to kill us. Well, that choice to me is very, very simple.
Every mage seems willing to use blood magic in the name of freedom. They can't be trusted.
Much as I hate it, I think you're right. And Meredith's lost more people to this movement than she knows. She needs men she can trust. If you go after Thrask, I'll gather the Templars I know who are still loyal. Maybe I can earn my shield back after all.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah, so Samson's gonna go get the Templars that are loyal to Meredith. And I guess we're gonna head inside here and try and deal with the rest. And am I also expected to believe that Orsino has no knowledge of this? Remember that smug asshole was just sitting in the Templar hall saying our services weren't required here. And look at this little holdout that we have. Of course he knows about this. I'm surprised he's not here leading them, honestly.
I suppose it was too much to hope that he wouldn't have come here.
And look who it is.
Though I can't understand why you side with Meredith now. You showed me we can stand up to her. When you took Fenris to the Dalish and insisted there was another way. Please, champion. I have nothing but respect for you, It's Meredith we must see gone.
It's the Blood Mage whore, whose man we killed for casting demons at us in the cave forever ago. Well, back in the Wounded Coast, actually, where we saved her and her friends' lives and sent them back to the Circle, and they weren't executed on sight, by the way. Well, they've grown up to start a little mage rebellion now and kidnap our sister, so perhaps Meredith was right to want them executed in the first place. Because, I mean, this would have been avoided if she had. So haven't they just proven her perspective continuously right over and over and over again? You're gonna let go of my sister, by the way.
I will not negotiate until you unhand Bethany.
No harm will come to your sister. We will release her as soon as I have your word to support us.
No. The girl dies. Then the champion.
Nice people you've aligned yourself with, Thrask.
Grace.
Hey, aren't you that mage lady whose ass we sent to the Circle?
She is.
We will not kill an innocent to achieve our ends. It gains us nothing to become Meredith.
Meredith. What do I care for Meredith? I'm here for the champion.
Because I killed you, honey boo boo.
You hurt my sister, you die.
I would rather die 100 times than endure one more hour in the Circle. I have been counting the days to get my revenge.
You enjoying yourself, Thrask?
Kill the hostage.
I don't know, Grace.
Well, that's that. See you,
You're
Grace.
dead. All of you.
No. No one has to die here.
It's a little late for that, Thrask.
Oh, but that's where you're wrong.
And she's a blood mage too.
Restrain yourself.
Yeah, she looks real restrained.
Forget the hostage. Kill the champion.
And that'll be the last mistake you ever make. So who's a blood mage here? None of you look like a blood mage. I know Grace is, obviously, so you can take that. You can take that. Anders, you're gonna drop this big old thing right there while she's stunned in it. And you take that. Enjoy, Grace. Sick blood mage bullshit now. You won't be firing my squishies either. I mean, it's a shame about Thrask, but misguided, to say the least.
I tried to stay away from her, you know, after Decimus.
Yeah, Decimus, that was his name.
The Circle here is worse than Starkhaven ever was. It seemed like hers was the only way out. I'm sorry. Grace used blood magic to hold her. That's the only way I can bring her out.
So not only did all these Templars and Thrask sit there and kidnap my sister, they also sat there and watched Grace use blood magic on my sister.
The last thing I remember is these Templars coming into my quarters.
Yeah. Well, you're safe now. The fact that Thrask sat there and let a mage cast a blood magic holding spell on another innocent mage who just kept her head down and done nothing wrong is insane and absurd to me.
I promise, I'll never let anything like this happen again.
Thank you. It's good to know you're still looking out for me.
Till the end.
I got here as soon as I... Oh.
Champion, Samson never said you were involved in this. I trust you were here to stop these traitors, not join them.
The Champion's a good man, sir. He tried to solve things peacefully.
Yeah. Put the Mage to questioning.
He did the right thing by us. He tried to solve that. I mean, he flat out refused to kill our sister when Grace told him to, and if he hadn't have done that, I don't know if I'd have been able to get there in time to save her. So I'm not gonna... I return the favor for him. They're not all as bad as each other.
The boy stood up to his elders when they would have killed an innocent hostage.
You mean he was one of them, save for a convenient last-minute change of heart?
You're not wrong.
I'll encourage Meredith to take it easy on him.
Thank you, champion.
Everyone else here is under arrest. Take them to the gallows. Is there any recommendation you would have me bring to Meredith, champion?
Boy, be merciful is interesting, right? Because be merciful is face no consequences for any of this, and kill them all. That's obviously just to butcher them all where they stand, and I'm not on board with that. And give Samson another chance. That might be a good idea, honestly, to have him back in the Templar Order. I mean, he did just help us save our sister. There would be some quid pro quo. I think we killed most people here that were a problem. But who knows how many Templars were in on this and what they wanted, so... Being merciful is not something I'm willing to tell her to be, because it's best for her to decide, right? If we hadn't done this, Meredith would be dead. That's what they mean by ousted, is dead. Because over her dead body would she leave. So Meredith would be dead. Probably Cullen and the rest of the Templars that standed with her would also be dead. And you would have a blood-influenced Templar in charge, with a lot of blood mages running around happy-go-lucky in Kirkwall. All I'm going to say is to give Samson another chance.
She should consider reinstating Samson. When it came down to it, he showed where his heart is.
True. Samson, you have done us a great service. Do you wish to take up the shield once more?
More than anything, Knight Captain, sir.
Then I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anytime. And right there you saw we got our final piece of the puzzle here, the Helmet of the Champion. So now we have the full armor set, and there is a rune slot there too, which is going to be very good for us. Now, what are the differences here? So it's slightly less armor, but we can put a rune slot in it. It's a less health, less attack, but the same crit chance. So I think that'll be good. Plus again, it's the iconic set, right? We're obviously going to use the iconic set. We do need to go put some runes in it though before we press on too far. Make sure I loot up all these guys too. Yeah, I'm not gonna encourage mercy upon turncoats and traders like that, especially not when they cast blood magic on my sister. I'm good. And Thrask, for all his goody shit that he talked about, he allowed that. He let them cast blood magic on my sister. And he should know better. The whole reason we spared the other mages in the first place, right? If you recall, was because we didn't think they had casted blood magic. Well, he knew that they were casting blood magic when they did that to our sister, and he just stood by and let it happen anyways. He was willing to hold that over me to get me to do what he wanted, so Thrask wasn't a good man. We thought he was, but he wasn't. Thrask is just a two-bit dime-a-dozen thug like everybody else we've slaughtered in the game. Just because he was willing to blackmail me and kill me over something that he believed in doesn't mean that it was the right thing to do. It doesn't make him a good man. I mean, I guess it makes him a principled man. That's about all you could say about that. Definitely not good, though. Let's take our happy asses back to Meredith. Actually, before we do that, let's dip into the rune slots real fast, because I don't know if I'm going to get jumped straight into another... Man, I'm fucking my words up all kinds. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know if we're going to get jumped into another quest right away, so let's just make sure we get all this. I can put that in a different piece of armor. I had no idea you could order multiples of those. I guess. Yes, Fire Warden.
It's quiet here in the mansion. I thought the man.
Let's take a look. They're all ruined up. So in the Helmet of the Champion, we can do the +2 to all attributes. We can do the fire resistance. 529, 529, or 529. Let's buff the hell out of ourselves, I guess. And then I assume... Yeah, you can just do that on 7 crit chance, 10% damage. That's the attack speed. That's the Lyrium rune. This is a rune of devastation that increases all existing damage. A weapon can only bear 1 rune of devastation. That's the crit chance. So do we want crit chance or do we want 10% flat damage? Honestly, I think we want the flat damage. Yeah, so now this does 10% damage and almost 40% attack speed, so we're cooking with gas with this weapon.
I can make it for you.
So you know what? Let's see. So let's... Where's the things equipped by Isabel? At 39 and 39. Now let's look for the other things that I had, right? It's weapon and shield, weapon and shield, weapon and shield. So her stuff is a 39 damage a pop. Rune of Striking is a crit chance. Just electricity damage. I guess I just put electric on both.
I saw something.
They're at 39. Carter's left hand is at 42 with 87 attack, crit damage, immunity to knockback, reduced attack speed, and reduced movement speed. That's a good debuff in weapon, but I don't think I'll be using that much. I was just gonna see if we finally had something to switch out, but it doesn't look like it. Alright, let's head back to the Gallows. Turn that into Meredith and let her know that she has a whole bunch of traitors in her midst. Nice to see you back here, Samson. Well, I guess it is for you, at least.
Look at this. My own sun shield and all the lyrium I can quaff. You've done me a good one.
And in hindsight of what happens in the rest of the Dragon Age series, it was actually quite a big mistake to trust Samson and get him back in the Templar Order, because he ends up getting corrupted by Corypheus in the next game. But it's interesting still to have him set up here. Which, Dragon Age 2 does a great job in setting up things for the rest of the future of the franchise. This is very much a setup game, I think. Which I think sheds the game in a little bit of a better light if you look at it like that. You kind of look at it as a setup for the future of the franchise, rather than a successor to Dragon Age Origins. Because they're, well, as it turned out, there'll never be a successor to Dragon Age Origins. But if you look at this as a setup for the rest of Dragon Age, then it works out quite nicely, I think.
The conspiracy against you has been put down.
And? What is Orsino's plan? He is part of this conspiracy, is he not?
I actually don't think Orsino had anything to do with this. I didn't catch a whisper or a hair of him anywhere.
The first enchanter had no role in this.
Cullen would agree with you, it seems. He claims a Templar turned on me and the Mages only followed. I do not believe it. If you did not find proof, it means only that Orsino hid his tracks well. Who else was involved?
I mean, I can tell you who was involved, but... Look, the first enchanter is quite shady, and we know for a fact that he is. Because of the letter we found on the serial killer, so I have no problem here letting her follow up and investigate this. But from what I saw there, the first enchanter wasn't involved in that at all.
The Templar Thrask, the Templar Karen, the Mage Grace. I do not know the others.
Thrask? He was a good man. That he would be influenced by blood magic is... unfortunate.
Wasn't blood magic.
Still, without proof of Orsino's direct involvement, the Grand Cleric will never believe as I do. It seems I will have to search harder. Orsino cannot evade me forever. Thank you, Champion. You have done a fine service for your city.
And even if we operate under the assumption that she's fucking nuts,
plot within the Order, beneath my...
She certainly isn't acting on the fact that she's nuts, right? I mean, she hasn't done anything untoward. She isn't just walking right across the hall, literally, right here, and just chopping Orsino's head off.
Meredith has no need of your services.
Which she could. It's well within her power to do, and it's well within her power level for her to take Orsino. She certainly could. She just isn't. So even if she is nuts, the binds of the Templar Order is keeping her in check at least. So we have the last straw. The mages are close to open rebellion. Though Thrask is dead and his conspiracy stopped, the situation remains tense. Look for letters from both Meredith and Orsino, as the champion will likely be called to defend Kirkwall once more. And here we have Blade of Mercy. This is something for Fenris, and questioning beliefs with Merrill. So let's go talk to Fenris. We're literally right here by Hightown for his home, so that'll be pretty easy. And then we can swing by with Merrill, and then we'll wrap the episode up. It's too bad that you can't get all your companions' quests unless you bring them out often, because I kind of like Fenris's main quest, and I would do it every run if I could. It just doesn't let you have a big part in all of your companions' lives, unfortunately. It's not like in Origins, where you can give them gifts and you talk to them enough and eventually you get their stuff. In this game, if you're not up in there, I'll show you what you gotta do to get that to work. So they have this meter, friend rival, friend rival, friend rival. And if you don't have your bar close enough to friend or rival, then you just will never get that quest. And you can't just come talk to them in between missions because they have no dialogue if that bar isn't moving. And the only way to get the bar to move is to take them on missions with you. So you really just end up stuck because there is a gift system, because we're about to give him a gift. But it doesn't work the same way as it does in Origins, where you can get them regardless. There's like 1 or 2 gifts for each person, so...
Take a look at this.
A Blade of Mercy. I remember these. You see them in the Imperium. Replicas of the sword Archon Hessarian used to kill Andraste. This one looks finely crafted.
I thought it might be worth something.
It is. Here, let me show you. These are gifts of honor, given to those who have performed a service for the Imperium. Denarius coveted them, as I recall.
You don't talk about the Imperium much.
It's not a place I remember fondly.
That's fair. Let's dive into this a little. Let's get Fenris's opinion on Tevinter and blood magic, and if the mages should run free.
Doesn't the Chantry forbid mages to rule over men?
Ah, yes. Magic is meant to serve man, and not rule over him. In the Imperium, they say that means magic should serve the greater good, which they claim the Magisters do. Do not believe it.
What do the Magisters do that's so bad?
What you call the Circle of Magi rules the Imperium. They control the Chantry as well as the Templars. They claim the Magisters are governed by holy law, but they are the law. They do as they please. All of them.
So they just pervert that whole thing, and they're like, well, yeah, the rule is that we can't rule over man. But we're not ruling over man, we're assisting mankind. We're for the greater good. We're doing God's work, so we get to do what we want. We're exempt. Of course, every blood mage, and most mages in general, think they're a god, which is somewhat understandable, you know? You can literally make fire, ice, water, life and death all in the power of your hands. At your whim. You can do anything. So it would make sense that they would all end up with god complexes.
So they all use forbidden magic?
The more powerful the mage, the higher he rises in the Senate. He makes the laws, he determines what is acceptable. Everyone who wishes to compete must do the same, or be crushed. Perhaps it wasn't always this way, but it is now.
And how it is now is more important than anything else.
The slave trade is still in operation in the Imperium.
It varies from one Archon to the next. One outlawed it many years ago. He was quickly assassinated. Tevinter would crumble without slaves. The Imperium's elite know no other way.
Seems like a slave rebellion would end that.
There are rebellions all the time, actually. Most of them end poorly. The Senate always unites when faced with sedition. One day, things will change. Then the Magisters will see just how fragile their hold is.
Yeah, nations that are held up by slavery always do crumble in the end. I mean, look what happened to Sparta, right? Once the slave citizens had their uprising, they didn't have anyone to make the weapons anymore or to farm the crops, and they just got starved out, basically. Couldn't repopulate their numbers fast enough, and they couldn't fund their own nation anymore since Spartan citizens didn't work.
I heard that the Imperium has been at war with the Qunari for decades.
Ever since the Qunari landed on the island of Saharan, yes. 80 years ago? Perhaps more. The Archon demanded aid from the rest of Thedas. It didn't get him far.
Yeah, I'm sure the rest of Thedas just pointed and laughed at that. I would.
They've been at war a long time.
The Qunari only ever wanted Saharan, which they have. The Imperium has made numerous attempts to retake the island, without real success. I believe the Qunari are saving their strength, building a massive fleet. When they wish true war, we will know.
And the Qunari are building their strength and making a massive fleet, but they are not doing that for the rest of Thedas. They are doing that for the reason they left wherever they came from in the first place, which I believe is probably the reason why they wanted originally before the canon and lore of the game got messed up in future iterations of the game. But I actually believe the reason the Qunari are so intent on converting the rest of the world to the Qun and having that sense of order and unity is, if anybody has played the Mass Effect trilogy, there was a sense of unity with the Protheans that they wanted in order to fight the Reapers. And the reason they wanted that sense of unity and to conquer the whole world is basically to have a big enough force to fight the enemy. And I think that's probably what the Qunari were doing too, originally, before, you know, what happened in Veilguard, which is a complete butchering of the Qunari's characters.
Are the Qunari that strong?
They once fought all the lands of Thedas to a standstill. If they wanted to conquer the Imperium, they would. From what I saw on Saharan, they will not relent. They believe even more strongly than the Magisters that they are in the right.
It's because they have a very solid, rigid sense of self and morality. They know they're doing the right thing according to them, so why would they have any need to bend?
I'd like you to have it.
For me? Yes. I think I'd like that. I'll think of the irony as I wield it.
I think it'd be nice too. Maybe one day you could use it to cut your old slave lord's head off, right? I actually like Fenris as a character a lot. It's a shame that these characters don't pop back up later.
I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Femundis. Care to hear the story?
I'd love to.
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
I'd like that.
Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Denarius during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
I thought Denarius considered you valuable.
He wasn't given a choice. The look on his face as the ship pulled out was priceless. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Denarius finally came for me.
Were you with these Fog Warriors willingly?
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Denarius came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them. So I did. I killed them all.
That would be the amount of messed up shit in somebody's head when they've been subjected to slavery and stripped of one's sense of self so great like that you don't know anything other than to take orders. I mean, likely even if they had let Daenerys take him, right, I think he would have probably killed them all anyways, but...
Why would you do such a thing?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt... I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Couldn't you have found other fog warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy.
That's
I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
Correct. That's what I was saying. When you strip somebody of their sense of self and all they're considering is pleasing you and what you need and what you want, they stop even seeing themselves as a person. Eventually they'll just see themselves as a tool, and tools just get used. It's one of the reasons why slavery is so reprehensible in the first place.
But there are stories of slaves
takes away people's humanity.
They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
And that makes it even worse, because he has no recollection of a life before. It's not even that he forgot who he is by just time and doing what he's done. It literally was taken from him. Blank slate, and all he ever was a sword.
How well did you know these fog warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
This can't be easy to talk about.
Thank God there's wine, huh?
I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
Perhaps you're right.
To you, Hawk. May I fight at your side for years to come.
Yeah, I really appreciate Fenris' character. I think he's very cool. I think he's probably the best unique companion to this game. I don't count Isabella as a unique companion, since she's in Dragon Age Origins. You've probably already imagined by now that not too fond of Anders. Meryl is also from DAO, but I'm not too fond of her character in general. Varric is really good, too. Varric is probably the best companion in this game, and Fenris is probably a number 2. Because Aveline is she's pretty dry. But boy, I wish Fenris showed up in some of the other Dragon Age games. I don't even think you hear anything about him for the rest of the stuff going on here. And god damn it, I was supposed to go talk to Meryl, huh? Yeah, he doesn't even show up. I don't even think you get a codex about it, so strange.
6 years in this place and I still can't fix the holes in the roof.
Can't talk to you about this? Yeah, let's try taking you out of the party. Can I talk to you now?
Elganon, 6 years in this place and I still can't fix the holes in the roof.
Alright, well I guess we're not talking to Meryl, so let's reset that then. I guess we'll just go back to the Hawk Estate and we'll check on the reading table. And then we'll wrap things up.
You've had luck on your travels? There's a letter for you. Strange how the messages never come while you're home.
That's strange indeed. Alright, so we have one quest, which would be the Last Straw. Champion, you have proven yourself a friend of order in this city, and I find myself in need of your support once again. Dire events are underway at the Gallows, which could tear the city apart. I believe the champion's appearance could make all the difference, and thus I ask you to come as soon as possible. Knight Commander Meredith. Alright, and we are ready to embark upon our final part of this journey, so thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out my Patreon, linked in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned, and I'll see you soon with more Dragon Age 2. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.